recording. So I'm going to do some troubleshooting on this track that Sunday sent me. Thank you, Sunday, for sending me a problem track. So the first thing I'm going to do is listen to this a little to find out what that's like. So starting from the beginning, we'll play.
Yes, I do. I do. Sorry. Yes, I do.
Okay, so there's steady noise in the background.
Hi, Sunday.
Um,
Yes, for sure. At least.
it's also a little bit echoey.
Service that you could. Okay.
I'm just checking to see if the sound quality of that noise changes over time. It's a little bit
Okay.
better. Now it's a little bit muted. Well, the one good thing is that this seems to be
Right?
pretty.
Doesn't even.
This seems to be pretty steady in terms of the sound. Yeah. Okay.
Oh God. TWP. Okay. PWP. Okay.
Let's just see. This also
Okay.
seems to be very loud.
Okay. Wow.
So I'm just gonna check.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then.
Yeah, there's also clipping happening here because this has been amplified to the very edge. Interesting. Sunday suggested that this was not loud, but I disagree. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to try to first adjust the noise issue, and then once the noise is done, I'm going to do a little processing on this track to tighten it up, to compress it a little so that it's at the loudness that we want, but also is not having these same kind of peaks everywhere. And I don't think I can. Well, we'll see if some clip fixing will help. So I'm using Amadeus Pro right now, but it has a lot of the same functions as can be found for analysis and stuff like that in in Audacity. So it's just where I work fastest. So here, we'll start with this, and then we'll figure out how this goes from here. So first, sound sample. Let's see. I want a section that involves the noise and then also noise and then also speech. I'm going to take this at the end because often this is where we get a lot of variety here. So,
Oh, they're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on, and John's like,
Okay, so I'm actually going to use my funky isotope functions to see if I can just do whether it's worth doing a voice denoise or whether I need to do a spectral denoise. So first I'll try voice denoise. Playback. This. Oh, let's just preview, see how that goes.
Oh, they're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on, and John's like,
So there's the threshold has to be really high in order to capture this. I'm going to actually optimize hold down for dialogue. Let's leave it on surgical.
Oh, they're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on, and John's like,
Let's try this again with
oh, they're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on, and John's like,
Okay, so this function will take care of the sort of the of noise, and it actually evens it out very well. So I'm gonna use I'm gonna use the fancy this time round. Let's just apply to this section. Make sure that. So here we've got noise, and then the noise disappears.
oh, they're so sweet together.
Okay, and just to double check that, let's look at these are the statistics, the wave statistics for this segment. And here we see that the average RMS is minus 18, which is high, but kind of reasonable. And the minimum, so we're looking at the floor, is minus 72. That's actually nice. So minus 72 is very low, very good. It's still super high, though, for the max. And you see the number of clip samples is way up here. Oof, very large. But anyway, but we have a floor of 72, so minus 72, so that's okay. I'm going to undo this and just repeat those stats on here. Yeah, so compared to the floor of 55, it's much lower floor, 72, it's 23 less than 55. And it does bring the average RMS down a certain amount, but that's fine. And it actually does reduce a certain amount of the clip samples, which is an interesting point. Yeah. Okay. So that's the transformation I want, but now I want to apply it to everything. So because I played with the settings, I worked out what I want. Now I'm just going to wait for it to go process the whole thing, and then we're going to do a little work on these segments. Now, there's two things that I'm worried about. One is the amount of clipping that I see happening here, which is a lot. But I already know just right from the get-go that we're going to have to bring this down. So first off, I'm going to do a change in amplitude of, let's see, it was minus 18 before. We want to bring it down to 23. Now some of this other processing is going to shift this around a little bit. So I'm gonna bring it down at least by 4. 5. Just so that we can get things under control and we can see the edges of some of these sound waves, you know, like this. Look at that is very high. And our vertical zoom is actually all the way out, right? So this is really capturing the edges of the sound wave here. So now I'm actually gonna do a review of the amount of clipping throughout. Okay, we've brought the clipping down to 44 instances of hitting that. That's good. I'm just gonna go back to that segment at the end here where there's the clipping and see how it sounds now.
Oh, they're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on.
Yeah. So, whoops, sorry. that.
So Sherlock's probably just rambling on.
Yeah, that's clipping. So I'm gonna test out to see whether clip fixing actually would make a difference on this. So again, using the fancy clip fix. Declip. Now there's clip fixing functions within Audacity. I forget what it's called. It might be clip fix. It might be something like that. But it does a sort of a similar kind of repair strategy. So it actually adjusts. It goes like into the sound wave, and where it gets weirdly cut off, it actually tries to sort of retrace and do a little bit of like band-aid work. And obviously there's a lot of ways to do this kind of retracing to fix the things that were cut off in the digital signal. And I can't say that. I mean, I've had some good results with the Audacity one. This is a much more sophisticated algorithm, but it, you know, some healing can be done using this kind of a thing. But we're just gonna give a preview of that to see how it goes and see where this is.
They're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on, and John's like, yeah, I see your point. And then it depends.
Okay, so you want to take a look at where it gets cut off. Here, we're going to bypass this for now and just play.
They're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on, and John's like, yeah, I see your point. And then it depends.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, they're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on, and John's like, yeah, I see your point. And then it depends.
I'm gonna bring the makeup gain down a bit more, and I'm actually gonna lift this up.
Oh, they're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on, and John's like, yeah, I see your point. And then it depends.
That's a little bit better. So that's a few that's being repaired, and this. Well, let's see what it does to this sound wave.
Oh, they're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling.
Oops.
Oh, together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on. And then your point. And then
It's a small change. I don't know if it's actually worth it in this case. It takes a long time to process the clip fix, and there's a few places where it will apply. I think we're just going to have to live with the audio quality loss, but we can still do something to even things out without applying that processing. Usually I wouldn't want to apply clip fix before I apply compression, because compression actually changes where all of those, the sort of the extremes are. It brings in the extremes. But I think in this case we might as well just go ahead with that. So I'm going to double check the loudness here. It says 20. That's good. Okay, so I'm actually going to do a process on this whole thing using a dynamic processor. So a dynamic processor is one of the ways in which I do compression. And what it does is it reduces automatically amplitude value, that's or sound wave values that are too high. It just bends them down. And this can have sort of very heavy distorting effects if you do it very aggressively. So I just use a fairly light version that will encourage things to sort of just tamp down the extremes to bring things so that we don't get these like same bursts of loud that we get, and so that the highs are a bit more even. You can be super aggressive with this though, and a lot of places do use really heavy dynamic processing effects, but I'm not a big fan of that myself. So actually, yeah. So this is at a compression threshold of 29, which means that when the sound is above that level, it starts to get bent, and this goes to the headroom of 23. So there's still a lot of dB. There's still 23 dB above that. That's admissible. So I'm not putting like a hard line. I'm bending things to be a bit more even. So let's apply this. Whoop. See, look at that. Isn't that so nice and short and stubby? And then these same sections that were so loud before.
He's the one in the pool. Oh, no, not him. No, what's his name?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's see.
Yes. Okay.
Let's go back to the same section.
They're so sweet together. So Sherlock's probably just rambling on and on and on. And John's like, yeah, I see your point. And then
So it's just a little bit, it's not going to be as jarringly loud. It's not a huge shift. It just takes care of the edges, but it'll be an improvement. And now there should be there's no clip samples, so that's good. Okay. Well, let's see. What is the loudness on this? 25. With this segment, it's a little bit longer. I'm just trying to get a gauge. 23, yeah. The average loudness here on these, 23 again. 26. Okay, you know what? I'm going to boost this whole thing by 1. I know, such a big change. But what it will do is that the lows at the beginning will be a little bit higher, and there's still going to be some dynamic range in sections that'll be relatively high, but, this should be fine. Okay, I mean, sounds okay-ish to me. This is Wiggins Denoised compression. And then I'll send this back to Sente, and hopefully that will satisfy whatever she was hoping it would.